All right, WordPress drama. To be completely fair, I didn't think WordPress was still like really active. I thought it was. I thought it was in the sense that it was kind of like just kind of like a maintained only item. It wasn't some sort of new item that's still doing a bunch of stuff. So I didn't know this was happening. So I'm a little bit confused, but apparently there's a cease and desist letter, which we have right here, which we're going to look at. So this is new. Okay, it's new to me. I'm excited. Here we go. WordPress hosting service WP Engine on Monday sent a cease and desist letter to Automatic after Automatic CEO Matt Mullenweg called WP Engine a cancer to WordPress last week. I wasn't ready for this one. This is not what I was thinking this was going to be. The note has asked Automatic and Mullenweg to retract their comments and stop making statements against the company. What exactly is the cease and desist letter claiming? What's the legal ramifications of him saying it's a cancer? Cancer bads, bro? All right, hold on. We are litigation counsel for WP Engine and right to address the serious and repeated misconduct Automatic has directed toward WP Engine over the past several days. Is it because what they're saying is you could be consider it slander, and because it has a material effect, because you can actually show losses? Is that what it is? Because it's really hard to charge for libel or slander because often you have to first understand. And the big thing about those two is that it can't just be that someone called you a bad name. It has to be that someone called you a bad name that caused you to lose money. And so I could see this. Okay, this actually makes sense. If the people who create WordPress called the people at WordPress Engine a cancer, one can understand why this would cause a lot of problems, right? I'm a bigger fish, so I'll press you. Yeah, it's definitely that. Yeah, this actually, okay. I'm not a lawyer, so this is clearly, in fact, this is not legal advice, but I do not believe you have to say this is not legal advice. But this sounds like they might have a case that they can win. Stunningly, Automatics, I like how they use the word stunningly. You know for a fact that the lawyers at WP Engine for a while had like a little bracket there that were like, exclamation of the baffling nature of Automatic CEO's comments. Which one is it? You know, stunningly, this was a $500 word. Several rounds were put together before the word stunningly was officially put in there. Automatic CEO Matthew Mullenweg threatened that if WP Engine did not agree to pay Automatic for his profit entity a very large sum of money before his September 20th keynote address at the WordCamp U.S. convention, he was going to embark on a self-described scorch-the-earth nuclear approach toward WP Engine with the WordPress community and beyond. Oh. Bro put it in writing that, did he literally email extortion? You either pay me money or I'll ruin you. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Dude, you really don't have to be that smart to realize that you call somebody. I mean, like, take a note from the mafia. The mafia you'd go in and you'd talk to them. And whoever this person was that was talking to you, being like, hey, you know, I'd really appreciate it if you start paying your due around here. And then you know what they do? They then call up the big boss, the big man up at top, and be like, hey, you want to talk to Billy? Yeah, Billy's here. And then the big man's like, hey, this is the big man. Hey, how's the weather? Oh, the weather's doing good. Hey, I wanted to take the time to talk to you. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is Fat Tony. It's Fat Tony. Just talk about the weather. That's it. Closes the phone. Yeah, the trick is plausible deniability. Then when someone asks you, well, you threatened him, you go, what are you talking about? I talked about the weather. I just called the big man, asked him how the weather was up in Brooklyn. And, like, that's it. Fat Tony, you know, like, dude, reliving all the Sopranos right now. No, it's not just reliving all the Sopranos. This is actually how they did it. This is, like, classic mobster 101 behavior, is that you don't tell them you're going to throw them off a bridge. You talk about the weather with the big man. Because that means the guy that can just call the big man on the phone, he has all the power behind the big man's agency. So if you don't listen to him, you get to go against that. Like, that's the whole idea. When his outrageous financial demands were not met, Mr. Mullenweg carried out his threats by making repeated false claims disparaging WP Engine to its employees, its customers, and the world. Mr. Mullenweg has carried out this wrongful campaign against WP Engine in multiple outlets, including his keynote address across several public platforms like X, YouTube, and even on the WordPress org site, and through the WordPress admin panel for all WordPress users, including directly targeting WP Engine customers in their own private WordPress instances used to run their online business. Whoa. Molenweg has also left a severed horse head in WP Engine's bed. That's crazy. Updating your software to say that WP Engine is bad and such that you get private WordPress instances getting hit with messages inside the admin panel. Dude, you had to know this was a bad idea. Like, you had to know this was a bad idea. Mr. Molenweg's covert demand that WP Engine hand over tens of millions to his for-profit company Automatic while publicly masquerading as an altruistic protector of WordPress community is disgraceful. WP Engine will not accede to these unconscionable demands, which not only harm WP Engine and its employees, but also threaten the entire WordPress community. WP Engine has sought to do the right thing at each stage of Mr. Molenweg's wrongful campaign and will continue to do so, with the integrity and candor that hallmarks of its own culture and that of many participants in the WordPress ecosystem. Mr. Molenweg's words and conduct constitute actionable wrongdoing and must cease immediately. Yeah, because I feel like you can most certainly make a case that they've lost money here. At least this seems pretty obvious that you are full on you are acting in like the most obviously illegal way possible. Crazy. Someone just said something in here, and I want to address this right here. WP allows bad devs to be worse devs. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. You know why I don't like that? You know why? Sure. Give me a moment, Lithium. I'll talk to you in a moment. The reason why I don't like that is that there's a lot of people who are just getting into programming who used WordPress as a platform to get better. And so, of course, they're bad devs. Everybody starts off as bad devs. Even good devs are bad devs in areas in which they don't know. So I don't like that. Okay, buddy? Of course, bad devs do bad things. I'm not even going to show that on screen, Lithium. All right. In the days leading up to Mr. Molenweg's September 20th keynote address at the World Camp US convention, Automatic suddenly began demanding that WP Engine pay Automatic large sums of money, and if it didn't, Automatic would wage a war against WP Engine. This demand was accompanied by allegations about WP Engine's business that were not only baseless, but also bore no relation or rational relation to the payment demand. Do we get to hear the other side? Does anybody have a link to the other side? Because this all sounds really, really bad, but to be completely frank, sometimes it's really hard to read through a bunch of the corporate BS. So do we have the other side? Like, do we have the reason in which they were demanding? How much is large sums of money? I think it totaled 30 million, if I'm not mistaken, which is a large sum of money, some would account. Oh, screenshots of the text messages? Okay. I think I pronounced his name correctly. This is such a great tweet. I can't believe this has 0 likes. It's criminal that this has 0 likes. Last I heard, Matt countersued. All right, yeah, like if I... Oh, hold on. Can't anybody at WordPress/Automatic take away this dude's internet for a week because he causes more damage himself and the community? Putting a link to his pretty whining in the WordPress event/new tabs of the WordPress install is bonkers. WP Engine is not WordPress. I mean, that doesn't feel very bonkers. I'm not gonna lie, that feels not bonkers at all, right? If that's the case we're making is this, then that's not that crazy. All right, hold on. Let's keep going. You haven't read this dude's absolute shit take? Well, yeah. If you would like to link it to me, I only have the technical letter. Okay, link it. You link it. There we go. All right. So let's look at this. By Matt Molenweg in the Community WordCamp. It has to be said and repeated, WP Engine is not WordPress. My own mother was confused and thought WP Engine was an official thing. What is your mother doing on the internet? Playing around with WP Engine. Okay, got a lot of questions for her. Why weren't you just managing it for her, Mr. WP Superman? Okay, I figured that your mother would be layered away from this. This kind of seems like this seems like the world's strangest argument. I would not rely on my mother for accurate information about anything when it comes to technical stuff. Their branding, marketing, advertising, and entire promise to customers is that they're giving you WordPress, but they're not. They're also profiting off the confusion. I spoke yesterday at WordCamp about Lee Whittlinger and Silver Lake at a private equity firm with 120 B assets under management can hollow out an open source community. To summarize, they do about $500 million in revenue on top of WordPress and contribute back 40 hours a week. Automatic is similar size and contributes back 3,915 hours a week. Okay. Wow, whoa, they're both sending cease and desist letters? Oh my gosh, this is getting even deeper, which is that that WP Engine's like cease and desist, and Matt Molenweg was like Uno reverse and cease and desist their cease and desist. Dude, this is crazy. This is insane. This is insanity. Okay, so it is saying right here that this is WordPress.org, which is the 5 for the Future pledge. So he wasn't exaggerating when he said this right here. They are contributing 40 hours a week. Automatic is contributing approximately 4,000 hours a week, is what they said. So they are. So it is fair what he said in this this statement right here. Today, I would like to offer a specific technical example of how they break the trust and sanctity of our software's promise to users and save themselves money so they can extract more profits from you. Let's see. WordPress is a content management system, and the content is sacred. I mean, you really all WordPress sites are, would we use the term sacred? Really, like hallowed? Can we agree that feels a little, maybe like a little intense here? All right. Every change you make to every page, every post is tracked in a revision system, just like the Wikipedia. This means that if you make a mistake, you can always undo it. It also means if you're trying to figure out why something is on a page, you can see precisely the history and edits that led to it. The revisions are stored in our database. This is very important at the core of the user promise of protecting your data, and it's why WordPress is architected and designed to never losing anything. WP Engine turns this off. They disable revisions because it costs them more money to store the history of the changes in the database, and they don't want to spend that to protect your content. It strikes to the very heart of WordPress does, and they shatter it. The integrity of your content. If you make a mistake, you have no way to get your content back, breaking the core promise of what WordPress does, which is manage and protect your content. They do daily backups. Oh, not true. Okay, so I was going to say, hey, this is really bad. I could actually see, like, I could see that. I could see why this is bad. But you're saying bullshit, and they do daily backups? Okay, so they don't do every last backup. They don't do every change backup like a revision history. They do daily backups. Apparently, it's disabled by default, but you can enable it via support. It's a bit of a goofy argument. This chat is sacred. This chat is sacred. This chat is, in fact, sacred. I agree. If my wife came in and said that I had to leave her or chat, obviously, I would leave her and keep chat because of how sacred and special this chat is. Here's a screenshot of their support page saying they disabled this across 1.5 million WordPress installs. Has WordPress revisions disabled by default? If you need more extensive revisions management system, we recommend using a third-party editing system rather than relying on WordPress revisions. Why? I will call out WP Engine in this one fact. Assuming their claims to how much they make is accurate, meaning they make a decent amount of money, all right? They're closer to $1 billion than they are a million. That why don't they put people on this and try to fix the problem within WordPress to make revisions work perfectly for their system? Like, why aren't they working on that? I'm a little confused by this argument. Why wouldn't they want to do that? I'm not saying that this isn't. I think the importance that they're putting on revisions is kind of wild. I think this is a really bad argument, but I do agree with this one. Linus, don't break user space. This is kind of the heart of the argument I'm making, which is you should not break user space. What's funny is none of what Matt is saying here is mentioned in the legal letter. Okay, well, that's good. We're gonna look at this because this is so bizarre. Revisions can only be enabled by contacting support. Revisions cannot be enabled in the WordPress config.php or PHP any files. I have an Audi. I don't know what happened there. As this will be overwritten at the server level. If you migrate a site with existing revisions that you would like preserved, reach out to support to have revisions enabled. Support can help you enable 3 revisions for your post to start. Revisions should not exceed 5. Okay, so they're doing this as a cost-saving thing, right? I guess that's how I read it, right? Can we all agree this is how you're reading it? They do this to save money because keeping stuff around costs money. Okay, hey, I will literally ban you if you say I prefer Drupal. That's crazy. That's actually crazy to say. They say it's slowing down your site, but what they mean is they want to avoid paying to store data. We tested revisions on all of the recommended hosts on WordPress.org, and none disabled revisions by default. Why is WP Engine the only one that does? They are strip mining the WordPress ecosystem, giving our users a crappier experience so they can make more money. That sounds a little intense. I wouldn't say they're strip mining, right? Doesn't that seem a little? Isn't that like a little intense? Okay, so it does. They're trying to make money and they're trying to be more efficient. And what they're attempting to say, which To be completely fair, if they have 1.5 million users on WP Engine and those users are happy without the revisions, what they're saying is that they intentionally don't have on an option that most people don't use. Is that fair? And that the people that do have it on, they actually don't need a lot of it. It does feel like Mullenweg is yapping a bit. I feel like that's kind of what I'm gathering here, because if revisions were that important, then you would either think WP Engine would have it on because their customers are demanding it, or two, their customers would leave and go to a platform that has it. That's the thing, is they are letting the free market decide, right? The free market is deciding because the free market is using them. That's why I said nice wording earlier. Yeah, I see. Yeah, because they're taking away something in principle, but potentially not something that's used in practice that often. Yeah, somehow I have this strong feeling like Mullenweg must have some sort of product or feature that he created that people aren't using, and he's claiming as the cornerstone, and he's upset about it. That's like it seems like there's some sort of weird thing that it sounds like Salesforce CEO saying Microsoft's Copilot sucks because they're launching their own. None of the WordPress instances iAdmin use revisions. Yeah. WP Engine paid $75,000 to be a super sponsor last week when this all went down at WordCamp. So they were currently paying $75,000, and then they got that destroyed? Okay. If you're a customer of WordPress Engine, you should contact their support immediately to give you at least 3 revisions they allow turned on so you don't accidentally lose something important. Ideally, they should go unlimited. Remember that you, the customer, hold the power. There is nothing without money you give them. And at the end, as you vote with your dollars, consider literally any other WordPress host, as WP Engine is the only one we found to completely disable revisions. I find this to be a really wild point to start with. Okay, I'm gonna throw this out here. To have multiple lawyers get involved and cease and desist letters flying every which way, it is wild that the core argument is over revisions or not revisions, and claiming that having or not having revisions is tearing the community apart. Honestly, can I be honest here? I always thought the community of WordPress was the fact that you could sell plugins, and that truly created the developer community around WordPress. Am I wrong on that one? I always thought it was templates, plugins like WooCommerce, all these different ones. I'm a full-time WordPress dev, and I literally don't give one fuck about revision. Yeah, themes too. Yeah, I thought that was the entire point. I thought this was truly where all of... Yeah, okay. No plugins and templates. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. I thought this is what created really the strong community, was that all these developers flocked to Matt owns WooCommerce. Yeah, see, again, I just figured that's what caused all this, is that all these developers could flock towards WordPress, and you could make money as just a dude in Iowa, right? You could literally live in the worst state in the union, Ohio, and make money. Flock to it, yeah. They could flock to it. You can make money on WordPress, lots of it, yeah. So that's what I was really confused by. So this whole argument, like if they disallowed third-party plugins, I get that. Like that to me, I actually would fully agree that they were trying to like kind of tear down the core. Because when I think of WordPress, I think of the community. Like that's what my buddy is, a WordPress dev and lives in Ohio, confirmed. Yeah. Now that is an actual argument. That feels like an actual argument. This does not feel like a good argument. At least I feel a bit confused as to why this would necessitate you attempting to destroy a company, which is like not really a good idea. Okay, let's get back to the first cease and desist. I assume this is the first one from WP Engine to Automatic. During the calls on September 17th and 19th, for instance, Automatic CFO Mark Davies told a WP Engine board member that an Automatic would go to war if WP Engine did not agree to pay its competitor Automatic a significant percentage of its gross revenues, tens of millions of dollars, in fact, on an ongoing basis. What were they paying it for, though? I guess that's my confusion part is, what service did Automatic render? Hold on. Does Automatic have some sort of revision as a service that you pay for? Oh, it's for the WP trademark. Confusion. Then what was that article about them not being... Okay, that's weird. Okay, next sentence. Oh, okay. Mr. Davies suggested the payment ostensibly would be for a license to use certain trademarks like WordPress, even though WP Engine needs no such license. WP Engine uses of those trademarks to describe its services, as all companies in this space do, are fair use under settled trademark law and consistent with WordPress own guidelines. Is that true? I don't know if that's true, because you can't create something, if I'm not mistaken, under the Linux trademark rules, you cannot create Linux educators as a website. You can actually get taken down and get a cease and desist letter. JavaScript for Rust devs got a cease and desist letters from Oracle for using the term JavaScript. Yes, before they specifically said you were free to use WP, but not WordPress. Ah, okay, so this is kind of like the Ferris. This is kind of like the Ferris thing. You can use the crab, but you can't use the Rust logo. Okay. Like a Oracle. Yeah, exactly. It's wild to me that Oracle owns JavaScript. Yeah, they've owned it for a long, long time. I love this right now that everybody is up in arms about Oracle owning JavaScript just because some dev said that they owned JavaScript and now videos are coming out about it. And it's like, bro, they've been owning it for like the last 20 years. Where the hell have you been? You're actually now upset that someone's dude, come on. Like, it literally meant nothing to you at all until some article on Twitter said it, and now you're pissed off. Stop with the NPC behavior. Dude, it's like the most NPC behavior of all time. That people are all up in arms. Like, the entire Twitter space was all up in arms for this crap. Dude, it's just so stupid. This is lifted from the trademark page. Or the abbreviation, WP is not covered by the WordPress trademarks, but please don't use it in a way that confuses people. For example, many people think WP Engine is WordPress Engine and officially associate WordPress, which it's not. They have never once donated to the WordPress Foundation despite making billions on revenue. Okay, so this is the contentious argument. Okay, yeah, to be completely fair, when I heard WP Engine, I thought WordPress Engine. And so I guess I'd have to see the exact quotation, which is that don't use it in a way that confuses people. This is, can we all agree that WP Engine clearly stands for WordPress Engine and that you would easily confuse it? And confusion is in the eye of the beholders. Like, this is, yes, that is the exact wording. I mean, to me, this seems like at least they have a partial argument for it. But how hasn't WP Engine been around? In my head, they've been around for like over a decade. So why today? It kind of feels a little weird that they're now just doing that. Matt added that language after the cease and desist letters. Oh, it was only updated recently. Wow, this is super crazy. This is wild that they even do. Can you update trademarks like that? Can you, like, are you allowed to do that? Because if I make a business, it's within the trademark rules, then you update the trademark to say it's not after I've been well established. Can you even do that? I have to assume that they can't do that. If you own them, why not? Because when you own them, you allowed somebody to use them in such a way. And then when they got really big, you then changed the rules. So the company and everything was created based on a set of rules that have changed. That kind of feels like this isn't, it's not even a rug pull. It's that they agreed and created a company under a different regime. This almost feels like ex post facto than anything else. It's like being able to do that. Founder of WP Engine, Jason Cohen, is an absolute boss. Whatever side he is on is probably correct. Okay. Trade law is complex. Yeah, trademark law is really, really, yeah. Technically, they didn't defend their trademark. Yeah, they did not defend it for a long time. Sounds like capitalism. It sounds like anything where someone owns part of something. That sounds like Wizards of the Coast tried with D&D license, right? Yeah, this is feeling very similar. Like, after a well-established product that's been around for a long time, and then you attempt to sue them, it feels completely like, I don't think you're allowed to do that. I'm pretty sure you lose that argument. Yeah, if you don't aggressively defend your trademark, you basically lose it. This is true. As far as I can tell, this is a very true statement. This is why Nintendo does what Nintendo does, which is that they like, every single thing that is used, they like go really intense at. Now, I don't know how true this is. I don't know anything about trademark law, but that's the justifying excuse I've heard for why Nintendo does what it does, is that they they go intense. Nintendo's suing Palworld. That's right, they are suing Palworld. They are. Automatic CFO insisted that WP Engine provide its response to this demand immediately, and later on the day of the keynote, followed up with an email reiterating a claimed need for WP Engine to concede to the demands. Before Matt makes his WCUS keynote at 3:45 p.m. PDT today. Damn, that's wild. In parallel, and throughout September 19th and 20th, Mr. Mullenweg embarked on a series of harassing text messages and calls to WP Engine's board member and also its CEO, threatening that if WP Engine did not agree to pay up prior to the start of Mr. Mullenweg's live-streamed keynote address at 3:45 on September 20th, he would go nuclear on WP Engine, including by smearing its name, disparaging its directors and corporate officers, and banning WP Engine from WordPress community events. Here's one of Mr. Mullenweg's threatening texts. If I'm going to make the case to WP community about why we're banning WPE, I need to do it in my talk tomorrow. Your delaying is just trying to remove that. Bro, put it in writing. Like, rule 1 of extortion is don't text extortion. Rule 2 of extortion is don't email extortion. Oh, it gets much better. Don't write text that will be read in deposition. Dude, is that not a fact of life? All right. Mr. Mullenweg further stated that he already created slides for his keynote speech, taking aims at WP Engine and its investors, and would present them to WorldCamp attendees and to millions of others via live stream on YouTube. Did he really have millions? Did he really? Damn, bro's more popular than Kai Cenat. Crazy, man. That guy should stream on Twitch. Crazy. If his financial demands were not met. All right. Hold on. Oop, I missed this top one. We got a few thousand viewers on the live stream, and the video on YouTube can get millions of views when we promote them. Wow. I have 14 slides so far, working on title for the talk, How Private Equity Can Hollow Out and Destroy Open Source Communities, a story in 4 parts. I got quotes from current and former employees. Some may even stand up and speak as well. Mr. Mullenweg continued to send a barrage of texts throughout the evening of September 19th and the morning of September 20, attempting to pressure WP Engine into capitulating to Automatic's financial demands. Just called out, should I run these slides or not? Is next week a negotiation on the percent or it happening at all? I'm not going to be able to walk it back. I know that this is the nuclear option. It sets us down a specific path. Okay, well, interesting, because they're saying that he threatened to go nuclear, whereas he's just recognizing that this is kind of like a, once we go down this path, we can't go back. A little different. I can see the language being a little different, but overall, this guy's stupid. Also, I'm curious if there's any responses back, or is it just one giant wall of text? Also, good for whoever was getting these messages and not responding to them. What a smart decision here. Are these high schoolers or CEOs? Nobody knows. When WP Engine's CEO and board member offered to speak with Mr. Mullenweg the following week to have a business discussion, Mr. Mullenweg refused, instead electing to manipulate WP Engine into paying Automatic for using fear-based pressure tactics tied to his keynote address that afternoon. They're not showing the other texts, which are a little bit... I don't like them not showing the full context. That's all I'm saying. I don't like the non-full context here, okay? So if you're saying next week, that's saying no. So I will proceed with scorched earth nuclear approach. You can't be this stupid. You just got to know not to do this. To WPE, thank you for the clarity. It gives me time to work on things and hone my message. Oh my gosh, this guy is such a doofus. In the final minutes leading up to his keynote, Mr. Mullenweg sent out one last missive, a photo of the WorldCamp audience wanting to hear a speech, with the message that he could shift gears and turn his talk into just a Q&A. If WP Engine agreed to pay up. Oh, they must have inverted the image so you couldn't see anybody's face. Literally, I'm waiting for them to finish the raffle so my talk can start. I can make it just a Q&A. All right, number 2. Mr. Mullenweg carries out his threats during WorldCamp keynote and thereafter. When WP Engine refused to capitulate to Automatic's astronomical and extortionate monetary demands, and Mr. Mullenweg made good on his threats, specifically during the keynote address and at WorldCamp US on the afternoon of September 20th. Mr. Mullenweg made a series of false and disparaging statements about WP Engine and its investors, claiming that WP Engine is a company that wants to feed off the WordPress community or ecosystem without giving anything back. I mean, to be completely fair, they kind of are. Can we? I feel like that's pretty. You could at least say that if they're effectively, as he said, that effectively the same size as Automatic, they're giving 40 hours back, and these ones are giving 4,000 hours back. I think that's pretty fair. They're kind of feeding off a little bit here. That feels like a really that does feel like a pretty straight answer here between the two. They offer hosting and awesome customer service, but that's not giving back to the community. They own the largest free plugin in WP. Okay, those are all good things, but they're still not WordPress itself. I can see that. Okay, I could be wrong. I could be wrong in the sense that creating really amazing WP plugins constitute giving back. Giving back is not a requirement. Absolutely. That is fair. But if you make a lot of money off of an open source community, you would think part of it would be to give back. I think I've given NeoVim a couple $1,000s and then got sponsors and stuff to NeoVim for NeoVim Conf that gave back money to NeoVim. I think overall I've been a part of or given directly back to NeoVim near the 20,000 mark. So yeah, I mean, I'm not making $500 million. I'm not a $500 million a year company here, people. Several order of magnitudes lower than that. But nonetheless, just $2 million a month. Just a measly $2. What? But I'm just saying, like, you could always, this is not a hard thing to do, is giving, wait, you're not? What is this bullshit? It's not too hard to make some of those things happen, even being slightly smaller. We thought you were $1 billion startup. Well, the startup makes a lot of money. The startup is $1 billion, okay, people? Suggesting that WP Engine employees may be fired for speaking up, supporting Mr. Mullenweg or supporting WordPress, and offering to provide support in finding them new jobs if that were to occur. Hold on, suggesting that WP employees may be fired for speaking up. Oh. Okay, interesting. Trying to bribe people out. Okay, interesting. Stating that every WP Engine customer should watch his speech and then not renew their contracts with WP Engine when those contracts are up for renewal, claiming that if the current WP Engine customers switch to a different host, they might get faster performance. Okay, so that one might get you in trouble. That one might get you in trouble for sure. So far, I don't necessarily see how this one is going to get you in trouble. So far, this one could get you in trouble. Alleging that WP Engine is misusing the trademark, including by using WP in its name. Unclear. Claiming that WP Engine's investors doesn't give a dang about open source ideals. But just to be fair, WP Engine does have really large free plugins that help people do a good job. What are the plugins that WP Engine creates, just so I understand? They don't give a dang. Investors indeed do not give a dang about ideals. Exactly. The only ideals they care about. What is AFC? Can someone say it in a more... Plugins are marketing pipelines. One Music, Bang Music. Oh, Advanced Custom Fields. Okay. I don't know what that is. What's insane tech news from today? This is Advanced Custom Fields. Okay, they built Yoast, I think. What is so? Okay, I'll have to look at that. I don't really know what Advanced Custom Fields is, but it sounds exciting. Very interesting. If Mullenweg's statement during his keynote address at WordCamp US convention were demonstrably false and self-serving, as just a few examples, contrary to Mullenweg's statement that WP Engine does not contribute to his narrow and self-serving definition of WordPress community, WP Engine has been deeply dedicated to advancing the use and adoption of WordPress through innovation, investment, and active community involvement. WP Engine has contributed tens of millions of dollars in ongoing support for the broader community through events, sponsorships, and the development of educational resources, including sponsorship of World Camps worldwide, and producing Decode, educating and empowering the WordPress community through content like WordPress Roundup and building the WordPress series, hosting, funding, and actively maintaining multiple open source projects. Okay, there you go. Advanced Custom Fields, WP GraphQL, Faust.js. Is that named after the devil? Bro, you're not helping yourself. Faust. Within the ecosystem used by millions of websites, around the world, and producing informative webinars, podcasts, and tutorials. Even considering Mr. Mullenweg's incorrect statement that contribution is only based on hours worked and contributors to 5 for the future. Mr. Mullenweg's falsely stated WP Engine is failing on this metric. In reality, WP Engine is ranked 30 out of 189 in hours contributed and 16 out of 189 in contributors, significantly outpacing multiple other contributors relative to our revenue. This does make it more confusing. This does make things a little bit more confusing because, like, how do you measure? Like, sure, maybe you're not giving man hours, but sponsoring events and all that is giving back in some sense to the community. But usually when you sponsor an event, you're not sponsoring to give back to a community. Can we all agree to that? Can we all agree that sponsorships of an event? Yeah, yes, I know that Faust is the doctor who sold his soul to the devil. I know that, but still, typically you sponsor something because you believe you're getting something back out of it, not because you're sponsoring because you're feeling extra charitable to the world. Yeah. We do podcasts. Yeah, podcasts. I mean, bro, every dude between the ages of 18 to 22 does a podcast. You're not selling me here. As for Mr. Mullenweg's claim that WP Engine is misusing the WordPress trademark, that too is false and reflects profound misunderstanding of both trademark law and WordPress Foundation's trademark policy. That's pretty good. First, WP Engine's use of WP is explicitly permitted by WordPress Foundation's trademark policy. The abbreviation WP is not covered by the WordPress trademarks, and you are free to use it in any way you see fit. Oh, that is much different than the verbiage we just got done reading. So they did. So this was... Can someone link me to the new updated terms of services? Because I would like to see the new updated terms of service. All right, so I'm going to skip over to the other cease and desist letter because I feel like I kind of get the gist of this one. WP does not appear on here. WP does not appear on here on that one. It must be something else. There we go. The abbreviation WP is not covered by the WordPress trademarks, but please don't use it in any way that confuses people. Okay, that is simply not the verbiage that was in the cease and desist. So one of two things are happening. Does anyone have a Wayback Machine link? Does anyone have a Wayback Machine to see if there's something to it? Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, look at that. Oh, what a damning. Oh, look at that. Flip, zoom in. September 12th, 2010 through the 24th of September, 2024. That means it was changed on September 24th. GG. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. The abbreviation WP is not covered by WordPress trademarks, but please don't use it in a way that confuses people. For example, many people think WP Engine is WordPress Engine and officially associated with WordPress, which it's not. They have never once even donated. No way. Does it actually say that? Oh my gosh, I didn't even read the rest. It does say that. Oh, dude, this guy's vindictive. The man's vindictive. Wow, I wonder what went up his butt. Dude, I don't know, but it had to hurt. Whatever it was, that is crazy. WordPerfect is crying in the corner. My mom used WordPerfect on the blue screen. On the blue screen, Windows 3.1. What a roller coaster. I know I came into this thinking, WP Engine is probably like overreacting. It's going to be like a slander case. And then it just kept getting worse. And now I think that this Matt guy, like right now, I'm not seeing anything in here that shows that this Matt fella is looking good. We're not even done. Okay, let's read the WordPress Foundation. Let's read the other side. Let's just make sure we have the other side for a little bit at least. Dear Miss Brunner, we represent Automatic Incorporated and WooCommerce Incorporated, collectively our client in connection with intellectual property matters. As you know, our client owns all intellectual property rights globally in and to the world-famous WooCommerce and Woo trademarks and the exclusive commercial rights from the WordPress Foundation to use, enforce, and sublicense the world-famous... Bro just loves saying the word world-famous, dude. Obama giving Obama a medal right now. World-famous WordPress trademark, among others, and all other associated intellectual property rights. We are writing about the WP Engine's web hosting and related services that improperly use our client's WordPress and WooCommerce trademarks in their marketing. We understand that our client has contacted you about securing a proper license to use its trademarks, yet no such agreement had been reached. You did extort them. Even if you're right, you extorted them, right? Like, let's just pretend that they're completely fair in their ability to do that, whether you like trademark or law or not, and they were very able to do that. They would have calmly sent this letter to begin with, and they would have been quiet in public and been able to crush him in court. This, on the other hand, was just actual extortion. As such, your blatant and widespread unlicensed use of our client's trademark has infringed on our client's rights and confused customers into believing falsely that WP Engine is authorized, endorsed, or sponsored by, or otherwise affiliated or associated with our client. WP's unauthorized use of our client's trademarks also dilutes their rights, tarnishes their reputations, and otherwise harms the goodwill they have established in their famous and well-known trademarks, and has enabled WP Engine to unfairly compete with our client, leading to WP Engine's unjust enrichment. According to our client, accordingly, our client insists that you immediately stop all unauthorized use of their trademark. Please find the additional details below. It won't stand up in court. I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know enough about trademark law, but it's been legal since 2018. Oh damn. Oh damn. Talk about getting wrecked. Is this going to be a D's Nuts joke? I'm always curious if this is just going to turn into a D's Nuts joke at the end. Yeah? Well, is this registered trademark in Brazil? It's in Brazil? That doesn't sound world famous. That sounds Brazil mentioned. Is that Brazil? There's a U.S. registration as well. Okay. Brazil mentioned? Can we get a Brazil mentioned, though? Let's go. World famous Brazil. All right. As noted above, our client owns all intellectually property rights in and to the world famous WooCommerce and Woo trademarks, and the exclusive commercial rights to the world famous dude. Bro is Obamaing himself so hard. Among others, and all associated intellectual property rights in connection with software for internet publishing and management, website content, website development, and other related goods and services. These rights include the following: U.S. incontestable federal trademark registration, right there and there, and there and there and there. Cool job. All right, so I think I generally get the idea, right? All right, hold on, let's do a little bit more looking here. I'm going to read a little bit more. I think I have the idea, but I want to just make sure I really get it. WP Engine promotes its service as bringing WordPress to the masses. Okay, that seems fair. In reality, WP Engine brings almost zero aspect of WordPress to the world. It claims to have contributed 40 hours a week to the WordPress. See this one. While by contrast, Automatic is contributing 4,000 hours a week to WordPress. See that one. Instead, WP Engine's entire business model is predicated on using our clients' trademarks, particularly WordPress, WooCommerce, and Woo, to mislead customers. Okay, so I'd be curious how they're saying it's using these two. I guess you could make some vague argument about them using the word WordPress as a trademark, but I just don't believe it. But I'm curious how they're using Woo and WooCommerce to mislead consumers into believing there is an association between WP Engine and Automatic. Even a cursory review of the WP Engine's website shows numerous examples of such misappropriation. See Exhibit B attached here too. All right, what's Exhibit B? Where's Exhibit B? Bro, did we not upload? I don't think they have Exhibit B attached. Imagine if Oracle decided to do that. They do. They've taken down websites. Oracle has taken down JavaScript for Rust. Let's see if I can find it really 1 second. Dang. I was hoping I could see it. I know it was last year or the year before. I can't remember what it was. But someone got sued effectively or cease and desisted by Oracle. Don't leak anything. Don't worry, I'm not leaking anything. Dang. Okay. All right. I was hoping to see it. All right. Whatever. Multiple uses of world famous has LLM generated cease and desist vibes. You think so? Oh, here it is. Yeah, we're already reading this one right here. My 2 cents. Unless Automatic owns the WP trademark, I can see this having zero merit. Still, if this lawsuit would somehow still win, it would mean each and every company offering WP WordPress hosting or mention it would do best to stop or can get sued the same way. Yeah, dude, Gurgly coming in just clutch right now. What a good Gurgly one. Dude, he has such good takes. This guy has such good takes every time I read his stuff. I always love his takes. It's so good. The issue is not about WP. The issue is oh, here we go. I just received a legal notice from Oracle America to rename my company for Rust for JS devs because they own the trademark to JavaScript. Yeah, like I said, I know we joke about it. Remember when everybody was really upset at me for being upset at Rust around their trademark policy? Do you know why I get upset? Do you understand why I get upset about trademark policy? Like when a foundation starts enforcing trademark or say they're going to enforce it, it's crazy. And so once this happens, it happens everywhere. And that's why I would personally be very, very careful. And that's why I made such a big stink about Rust for type or Rust doing its own trademark stuff, is this exact reason, is that it starts off and you're like, dude, they're not going to do it. Why not? Why wouldn't they do it? Right? Like, who says they won't do it? No one says, right? No one says that. What if Amazon were to enforce the Prime trademark? Prime would be a lot harder because it's just a word, right? It's just a word you can use for anything. And so it already has a meaning, right? That's like, you can't like trademark the word printer. Now, if you had a video service or a shipping service and you named it Prime, then you'd get hit because it's like in the same category, right? Right? He's not actually going to stab me, says the stabbing victim. I know. Anyways, we're already reading this right now. Okay, so this is my at least my initial understanding of this, is that one, the WordPressFoundation.org should have never gotten involved in this. Like, number one, WordPress.org getting involved in this type of dispute was a real bad decision. Obviously, Matt must either own WordPress.org or has the ability to effectively enforce this. This was stupid of them. Second, specifically calling out this in your trademark policy just makes you look petty and childish. Third, changing it on the 24th, the day you're sending your cease and desist, that doesn't look good, right? That looks good to nobody. The thing is, not only did WP Engine create a company, they made money, they trademarked themselves, they were able to keep on going, and they went for decades, literal decades. Oh, that's not what that means? Oh, sorry. But it was just changed just recently, as in they just changed it like at any moment. It's malicious. That's the dates when the site was indexed. Okay, my bad on that one. They were either released, it was shortly afterwards changed. I guess the thing is, I don't know what the exact date they changed from this one, which is the abbreviation WP is not covered by the WordPress trademarks and you are free to use it any way you see fit, versus this one, which is actually calling out WP Engine. Check the links. Where are the links for? Can you hand me the links? Where your links in here? I'd like to see the links because I actually did want to see the exhibit. Headless WordPress, the all-in-one headless platform for radically fast sites. Okay, this picture is terrifying, by the way. I really gotta turn off that. It just makes people scary. It just makes them scary. WordPress hosting for small businesses. Okay, hold on, I gotta check out. Oh, there it is. Think of a managed WordPress host as a dedicated technical assistant that powers your website. Isn't that what WP Engine is? A managed WordPress host? Like, isn't that like word for word what WP Engine is? I may have accidentally pinned KEKW. I did. I pinned KEKW. Let me unpin this. By using WordPress as a descriptor is a violation of the trademark. Yeah, I think that will end up being BS, right? It has to be BS. According to USPTO, WordPress Foundation filed trademark managed WordPress on July 12th. If this trademark is granted, every WordPress host worldwide would and could be subject to litigation from Automatic. Well, how the hell do you refer to WordPress then? Like, because WordPress is not just a company, it's also a piece of software. Like, how, if you created something that hosts said presses of the word, how would you ever say it? I think the problem is that they have products listed as WordPress X. Okay, that at least, yeah, that's the whole Linux problem. That's the whole Linux trademark thing, is you can't have something called linuxexperts.com. You can have experts of linux.com, but you can't have the other way around. Yes, I do. I do ignore YouTube. Yes, this is very true. All right, well, I guess we won't know what's going to happen for a little bit, but I'm curious what the next. I am actually genuinely curious what the next thing is. I'm actually really curious if you work in WordPress and you use either of these two companies. I'm actually very curious what you think. Leave a comment. I actually want to hear about that, just because it is such a weird thing, right? Like because I don't care about Twitter. I don't care about these cease and desist letters. What does this do to people that are using WordPress? What do you actually think? Are you going to change any of your habits? Are you on Matt's side? Are you on whoever the other guy's side is? Do you think, because I know WooCommerce has like a really great reputation for being great pieces of software. Bertrand citing himself. Well, don't worry. Bertrand is pretty much terrible at being a mod, so I can't wait for this. The WordPress drama is the most exciting WordPress has been in the last 5 years, but at the same time, the most boring thing ever. Yep, that seems about right. I think this has killed it for me to use WordPress anymore. Ooh, damn. Crazy. Irrelevant, just clickbait. It's not really clickbait. The result of this could, in fact, endanger every single company that hosts WordPress to being litigated by Automatic. It's actually a pretty big thing. And there's tons upon tons of small businesses that just rely on WordPress. Like there's a lot of downstream problems. Wait, people use WordPress? Most of the internet is probably still WordPress. Pordress? Yes, you're safe. All right, the name. 43% of the internet is WordPress. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this number is true or not. They won't get managed WordPress granted if people who've been using the terms commercially dispute in the filing. Dude, it'd be crazy if they did. Matt built WordPress and runs Automatic, and he's trying to essentially nuke his largest competitor. That's that's how I'm reading it. This is just predatory practice. That's how I'm reading it, is that the bro's unhinged. It just feels crazy. I can't believe this is actually happening. Again.